not go outside trying to take pictures. We're going to continue to cover the storms for you as we go through the rest of this evening. Guys, we'll send things back to you.
Thank you, Anthony. And as we track these new storms, counties across the two-state are working to pick up the pieces from yesterday's destruction. The National Weather Service confirming an EF2 tornado in Aiken County, and there were reported tornadoes in Allendale, Screven, and right now you're looking at video from Emmanuel County. Claire Allen is in Swainsboro for us.
She brings the story of a ministry that's making the most of the situation and looking towards the future with hope.
This building was once full of sounds of music coming from a church ministry. But yesterday, the only sound coming from this room was the roaring of a storm.
When I came, I was like, oh my goodness, the roof was gone.
Makisha Robinson and her husband own the church inside the building. Robinson says she comes to pray during the week, but is thankful she wasn't home when the storm rolled in. At first, kind of disappointed.
On the backside of it, God, He always keeps us in remembrance of that everything that He does is for a purpose, and if we love Him, it works together for our good.
Just a few doors down, Rise Computer Solutions owner Calvin Close witnessed the storms from inside the building.
The next minute we heard this sound like a woof, and we heard the roof come off.
Close says the next steps for his business is to cater to his clients.
One is to get the building back up and running, power back on and water back on, but it's to make sure our clients still are able to get the computer support that they have every other day.
Both say the damage could have been worse.
Tell everybody to be encouraged.
So you can fix buildings and property, but, I'm very grateful that we were taken care of.
The people who live here say they are blessed to be alive. In Waynesboro, Claire Allen, on your side.
Wow, thanks, Claire. It really could have been so much worse. Even some places that didn't.
It's serious again tomorrow. We'll have more from the final practice rounds coming up in the next half hour.
The past meeting the future there. Also at the National today, we got to meet the first two students who'll be playing golf under the Lee Elder Scholarship at Payne College. As most people know by now, Elder was the professional golfer who broke the color barrier at the Masters, and that fact is not lost on these two young golfers. Listen.
It means everything. This is such an exciting moment for me and my family, and for the school. It really means a lot. My parents are super proud, and it's very, very humbling.
It's a little intimidating, but like I said, it's a great opportunity to just help build it and just kind of kickstart it and be one of the first people on the women's golf team. But I think it's a great opportunity for all of us.
Taya's from Columbus, Ohio. She's a pioneer, too, as a member of the college's first women's golf team. Devin from Bloomingdale, Michigan, both playing golf for Payne College in the fall. And since they're new to Augusta, they're seeing the National in person for the first time today. Pretty special day for them. So I know they were anxious to get out of the interview room and get out on the golf course.
Yes, and especially with the weather situation today, of course, when the patrons were evacuated. It's one of those things we saw earlier in this week. Just yesterday they were evacuated, couldn't come back on. Today, though, luckily everybody got to go back on the course and get to see some more golf.
I was concerned about the par 3 tournament for a while, but they were able to get the par 3 in for as much as I can tell.
Right, for the first time in 2 years. It was canceled back in 2020 and in 2021 because of COVID. Mother Nature tried to cancel it this year, but
right, the rain held off. But we're watching radar again.
Yeah, we sure are. Tiger Woods, he is an inspiration to so many of us. But for one patron this year, his story of recovery is hitting a personal note. Why? On News 12, first at 5, coming up. Riley?
Another first alert weather day issued across the afternoon, highs remaining below average.
Riley, thanks. Before the rain evacuated patrons for a second day in a row, thousands were following Tiger Woods. His gallery looked more like a Sunday when he's a green jacket contender than a Wednesday practice round. And the roars much louder than anything Mother Nature served up so far today.
It absolutely was electric out there. There's always excitement around Tiger, but this year is a little different. That's because this year his comeback transcends golf. That's especially true for one Aiken woman. She shares a special connection with Tiger Woods that has nothing to do with the game of golf.
If you asked Amy Bejic a year
ago if she would be here today.
Good morning, welcome to the Masters.
She would have told you her chances were about as good as Tiger Woods playing in the 2022 Masters.
I wasn't even thinking I was going to do anything like this ever again.
Right around the same time Tiger was in that terrible car accident that almost cost him his leg, Amy's doctor delivered some devastating news about her own leg.
I went in to get x-rays, and they looked at the x-rays, and they're like, we were going to take it off in a week.
Amy has type 1 diabetes, and she is not alone. Every day, around 230 Americans with diabetes lose a leg. Still, Amy and her husband never dreamed she would join that statistic.
Me and Ron were in the room when he said that, just like looking at each other like, what?
Then she turned on the television and saw Tiger's crumpled car. She heard he might never walk again, and followed the news when doctors surgically rebuilt his leg. Suddenly, to Amy, Tiger Woods was more than a golfer.
I was watching the coverage of him as I was going through it, and I was just like, well, if he can do it, I can do it.
2 weeks after her surgery, Amy was fitted for a prosthetic leg. She rented a scooter to help her get around Augusta National.
I hope to be able to get better as time goes on.
But she's also grateful for how far she's come in such a short amount of time. Not too long ago, she was in the hospital. Just like not too long ago, he was in the hospital. Now, together, they can both reach others who also might be struggling.
Everybody that's in our positions, just don't give up.
No matter which side of the golf course ropes you're on, that advice could very well affect the course of your life. Tiger isn't the first to come back from impossible odds. Ben Hogan shielded his wife when a bus hit them head-on in a crash in 1949.
It was huge news back then. She only had minor injuries. He was nearly killed, but then went on to win 6 majors, 2 of those for a green jacket. Well, Georgia under a state of emergency right now in anticipation of more storms moving in. A look at the damage in Bryan County, where Governor Kemp visited today when First and 5 continues.
99.
The river region not the only place recovering from tornadoes tonight. Here's a look over Bryan County, Georgia, where 1 person was killed and 12 people were injured by a reported tornado.
Pretty extensive damage down there. Today, tractors, power trucks, emergency vehicles are lining those streets. Governor Kemp also down there today showing support and touring the damage in South Georgia. Today, he issued a state of emergency saying the state will devote resources to help these communities recover.
Back at home, crews in Tolliver County rescued a stranded driver after an accident left a car in the water. Look at that. This is a photo from the scene at A.H. Stevens State Park. When fire crews got there, they found that car floating in the water with the driver inside. Thank goodness the driver was not hurt. Officials rescued them without a problem.
Today, a different kind of storm, sandstorm, sweeping through the State House in Columbia.
With First Alert Weather.
Scenes of devastating damage today after tornadoes on both sides of the river. In total, 29 twisters reported all across the 2-state yesterday. Allendale County getting hit with the worst of it.
And we are not in the clear, at least not yet. It is another first.
And we know what these storms can do. Taking a look at the tornado caught on camera yesterday in Allendale. And today we're warning schools there will stay closed tomorrow with a plan of reopening on Friday.
When you take a look at the destruction, we are so very fortunate that no one lost their life. 3 people, however, were injured. EMA is out there assessing the damage.
Our Sloan O'Connor has been there all day, bringing us a look at what kind of cleanup they're facing now.
Crews have been out here all day picking up power lines. Neighbors have been in their yards picking up debris. Just look at this house behind me. The entire roof is just now a ball on the ground, and the insulation is painting the trees like snow. And so for some, the damage is a lot worse, but across the street, nothing. It's still uncertain how long it will take to clean everything up. SCEMA assessed 23 homes and businesses. 6 have minor damage, 5 have major damage, and 4 are destroyed. Fortunately, no one died, and the 3 injuries were non-life-threatening. Neighbors say it's still hard to believe.
And if it's spin around, and next thing is peel the whole top off it.
Wasn't right?
It was something I never seen before, like sci-fi.
Even being out here, seeing the damage firsthand, it's still hard to wrap your mind around it. Just 10 minutes down the road, trailer homes are completely leveled. Coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock, I'm working on a story talking with one woman who's lucky to be alive.
Sloan O'Cone reporting there. Parts of Aiken County also left in shambles after a tornado tore through there. The National Weather Service confirming today an EF2 tornado hit the county.
These are shots from our Sky 12 drone. You can really see the path there. This is south of Batesburg, Leesville. That storm injured one person. Our Will Volk got a first-hand look at the damage and actually caught up with the man who went to the hospital.
It still haunts me right now.
It's an experience that still has Andrew Ozuna Perez shook up.
I try to look out the window. I seen debris just flying everywhere. I was pretty much able to see the cone.
He saw an EF2 heading straight for him. It would only be a matter of seconds before the tornado invaded his home.
Once it had so much air in the house, it slung me to the living room. So I pretty much seesawed on my body.
To give you an idea just how strong this tornado was, this used to be the front door, but the strength of the storm pushed the home off its foundation by more than a foot.
I was just hoping the house would not collapse on me. I was just praying, please don't let the house just fall on top of me.
It didn't, and he got out of there with bruises and a dislocated shoulder. But the tornado was on its way to another building with his 2-year-old daughter and mother-in-law inside.
I was just praying for the best, making sure she was okay.
The trees missed them by that much. Everyone made it, but his home didn't.
I don't wish this on nobody. Now we got to figure out what we're going to do, where we're going to go. Hopefully we get the helping hand we can, get the most help we can.
They have a long recovery ahead, but after an experience like this, Perez is grateful. Everyone's alive.
I really do. Thank God for everything.
In Aiken County, Will Volk, on your side.
Such a close call for a lot of families there. Perez says his dog also made it. It was outside when that storm hit, so you know he was worried about his animal.
Oh my gosh, of course. Yeah, this really could have been so much worse. We are less than 24 hours away.
The Live by Camera Network is brought to you by Mountaineer Pest Services.
Hi, I'm actually Dave with Laurelwood Equipment, and my experienced team wants to change the way you shop for outdoor equipment. When you come to Laurelwood, you won't be left standing around unacknowledged. Our friendly, knowledgeable staff is here to help you make an informed decision based on your specific equipment needs. From Exmark zero-turn mowers to steel chainsaws, we want you to be satisfied with the performance and the price. Come see us today. We're conveniently located off Exit 1 in North Augusta.
Every day all across $10.98 and trunk organizer with cooler bag only $8. Hamrick Spring Fling Event.
She does this cute little saying almost every day that her and her mom used to do, and she says, "Did I tell you I love you today?" And then I say still, and then she says always. So it's just a cute thing that happens pretty much daily. Even just before I'll just be about to fall asleep and she wouldn't have said it that day, and then she says it, and it's adorable. Forever means it all, means everything.
Why would standing up to the course was designed to be playing from?
But for Augusta National, it's also about another kind of precision.
That's what makes this course so special, is that they can tweak it between seasons and for what they want the tournament to be, but they make it look like the changes that they made were never here.
It really looks like it's been that way forever. Now, it remains to be seen if these changes really are game changers, but we should know that starting tomorrow when the shots start to count.
Also this evening, Augusta's Spring Greek Fest is coming back, this time fully in person. They're going to have food and drinks and music and more. It's all a good time. Starting April 29th at the Holy Trinity Greek Orthodox Church. You have until May the 1st to experience this festival. There will be Augusta to-go options as well for those of you who need delivery. But, good idea. Check it out.
I am so craving a gyro now.
That is looking really good right now. Hey folks, remember we do have some intense thunders. By around midnight, that risk will start to go down for us. We'll have much more on the forecast over the next 3 days in just about 10 minutes.
And as we track another round of severe storms, people are picking up the pieces from round one yesterday. New drone video right there from Aiken County, just south of Batesburg, Leesville, where the National Weather Service confirms an EF2 tornado hit. You can see damaged homes and scattered debris along those fields. We also saw trucks lined up out there today, helping clear those downed trees from the roadways. We know at least one person was hurt in that storm.
And here's a look at our hardest hit area in Allendale. No confirmation from the National Weather Service about the strength of the storms here yet, but we do know at least one strong and very destructive tornado ripped through the downtown area late in the afternoon yesterday, hurting 3 people and, as you can see, leaving significant damage behind.
Sloan O'Cone's been on the ground in Allendale all day long.
She talked to friends of one woman hurt in that storm who say she's lucky to be alive.
Behind me is Miss Barbara Gill's home. You can see it now draped across trees and just in pieces. Her family is still out here salvaging everything they can. Miss Gills is at AU Health with non-life-threatening injuries, but she doesn't even remember what happened last night. But Mr. Papers does. He says he found her back there in that car.
That as we came, I approached the property, we was looking for Miss Barbara Gill, and as we entered the property, we couldn't find her, and we stopped calling her name, and on the 3rd call out, she did make an answer, and we ran back to the car, and she was sitting in the car.
The car with the license plate, God is good all the time.
God is good. All I can say, God is good.
Miss Barbara is one of 3 people who got hurt during the tornado. All of them are expected to be okay. Fortunately, no one died. SCEMA assessed 23 homes and businesses. 6 have minor damage, 5 with major damage, and 4 are destroyed. Miss Barbara's house is one of the 4, where you can see pieces of their lives scattered across the ground. But her friends say that's all replaceable.
I'm feeling great that she have life. She could get material stuff back, but you can't gain life back.
And for those who may need help recovering from these storms, the American Red Cross is here to help. They say they have resources from everything from food to clothing to shelter. We'll have the information on how to get in touch with them on our website, wrdw.com. In Allendale County, Sloan O'Cone on your side.
Such an eerie sound there, the sound of sirens yesterday in Swainsboro, Georgia. And check out the surveillance video from the Wise Computer Solutions downtown. This is over on East Main Street. You can see the moment the roof is actually ripped off, torn off there, then thrown into the road.
Just wild video caught on camera. And here's News 12 Celeste Springer now with a look at conditions today.
Downtown Swainsboro was one of the hardest hit areas, and this apartment is a good example of this because this window is not a window anymore. Terrible winds came through here. You can see all of the glass on the floor, but the owners say they're lucky nothing else happened.
I never been through this.
Wind blows through Zaylee Morris's hair as she stands in her mom's bedroom. It's now completely open to the elements.
No, I did not expect this. Really sad. I'm like worried about Pee-wee.
Pee-wee is the family dog. He was the only one home at the time of the storm, but he's thankfully just fine despite the trail of glass that shattered around him. Take a walk a little down the road, you'll find a ministry with their own losses.
Pulpit here at the front, and in the far corners we had our speakers, and just in this area we had our setup of the chairs and everything, and in the
Put aside all of that, probably the biggest thing lost, the roof.
Just wowed me because I've never seen anything like this before.
The National Weather Service will pay a visit to take a look at all of this for themselves. They're pretty confident this is most likely a tornado. Once they know for sure, they'll be able to rate how strong it was. But for all those in Swainsboro who weren't seriously hurt,
because money, like I said, is just a number.
This is some sweeping, just some replacing, and nothing they can't put back together again. In Emmanuel County, Celeste Springer on your side.
The National Weather Service says they'll be in Swainsboro either tomorrow or the day after. They say the time frame depends on when it's safe for them to do that.
Final tune-ups for the Masters.
Good news is drier weather, though, on the horizon Thursday through the weekend. Keep in mind, though, even though we're dry Friday, it is going to be very windy. We have continued a first alert on Friday. Those wind gusts could be as high as 40 miles per hour.
It will be good to dry out, Riley. Thanks a lot. Aiken's Kevin Kisner playing some really good golf right now, coming off a second-place finish at the WGC Match Play Tournament, a fourth-place finish in the Players' Championship.
And the Masters Tournament is always special for the Kisner family for a lot of obvious reasons, but one of the youngest members of the family will remember this week for years to come.
Kids all over the world know Kevin Kisner by name. Yes! But there are only 3 kids who know him as Dad.
Yeah, he's excited. This is a special Mommy Henry Day, and the first time he's actually been out on the big course other than the par 3. And since it's been, no other than spouses the last 2 years, this will really be the first time he remembers it, so that's special.
Henry is 4 years old, the second of the Kisner's 3 kids, and he's already taking after Dad on the golf course. His favorite part? During Masters Week, Take Your Son to Work Day is a little cooler than your average dad. Here, it means you get inside the ropes behind the hole 1 tee box at Augusta National. For a kid from Aiken who grew up dreaming of playing this course, to bring his own kids to watch him play is something special.
Every year, I think we feel so lucky to be in the field and can't believe that we get to come back again. It's really a dream come true for Kevin, and then now that our kids are older, it's fun to really experience it with them too.
And the Kisner legacy in this community reaches beyond their own children, even beyond the young kids who look up to Kisner as a role model. Through the Kevin and Brittany Kisner Foundation, along with their early literacy campaign in Aiken County and nearly $500,000 in grants they've awarded to local nonprofits, they also recently pledged $5.3 million to the Children's Hospital of Georgia to help establish a pediatric behavioral health and wellness center.
I mean, that's way more important than the golf, for sure, and to be able to give back to the community in the capacity that we're going to is going to be awesome.
Kevin grew up here and then raising children here. We knew the need in the CSRA, and we feel like that's where we want to make an impact, is the kids that are growing up right here in this area.
A legacy that will continue to make the grass greener for a lot of kids who may not even realize it all started with a kid from Aiken with a pure swing and a big dream.
Now, Henry's mom told me that Henry was pretty good at golf. Well, today a lot of people got to see that at the par 3 tournament.
How'd that go?
He teed off. He crushed it. For a 4-year-old, you imagine you're going to see his name on a bag someday.
Well, they don't start them young for nothing.
Right, yeah, as his dad would probably say, this ain't no hobby.
Kevin just tweeting in the last half hour, Georgia and a green jacket on my mind.
It's on our mind, too. It is the year of the dog, so we would love to see a dog in a green jacket.
Kisner's doing great things for Augusta. So to come here, empty seats to match an empty field. Will Lake Olmsted Stadium ever train